Hi, this is Di, the bass playing mom, and today we are going to talk about writing a bass line, but not from scratch. There is no music theory required for this. What we're going to talk about today is being handed a sheet of chords with some lyrics and turning it into the bass line you hear in the recording. How do you get from here to there? I had a question about that. It was from Walker MSW. Let me read it. Di, I discovered your channel a week ago and appreciate you sharing your order of service at your church. Our church is similar but much smaller. I was a backup singer and 5 months ago picked up the bass at the encouragement of the worship leader. 8 weeks later, I was playing bass in the service. I was amazed how quickly one can learn the basics and contribute to the worship time. I watched with interest the video you did about 3 years ago on how you practice a set for bass. Would you consider doing another video like that, focusing on how you choose the rhythm, fills, and other notes that are beyond the basics of simply playing a note at each chord change? Thank you for what you do. This is like the sweetest comment, plus it had a video recommendation. I can always use that. I do have to say, reading this comment made me think of one of the memes that we've previously seen in one of my meme videos. Son, what'd you learn at your first bass lesson? I learned to play 4 A's in a row. What'd you learn at your second lesson? I learned to play 4 D's in a row. What'd you learn at your third lesson? I couldn't go. I had a gig. If you know my story at all, you know that I was a high school bass player playing walking bass lines for a jazz band. And then I put my bass on a shelf for about 15 years. I was a singer, singing background vocals on a worship team for about 5 of those years. And the rest of the time, I didn't play any music at all. So I had started singing as a vocalist on the children's worship team for the children's service for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade at my church. And we had a new director, and she decided that she had too many singers and not enough musicians, and those of us who were not musicians were free to go. Like, never be on the worship team again. So it was a very sad, frustrating day for me, and I decided, well, this is sort of a survival of the fittest situation. I went up into the attic, dusted that bass off, got it down, and had to learn how to play off of chord charts. I had never played from them before, and the chord charts that we use are the kind that are used in a lot of music. They're also called campfire charts. Chord charts look something like this. Chord charts are also called campfire charts because if you were playing guitar sitting around a campfire, you could pass these out and everyone could play their guitar together and play the song. They show you the layout of the song, like where the verses and the chorus are. And they also show you the chords, but the chord changes are where they're indicated by the words in the song. That can make it a little more difficult for the bass player who's trying to keep track of a particular rhythm. These do not show you the rhythm, and they don't show you what notes to play. They give you the names of the chord. So if you're going to play the root of the chord, that's what you have. And that was what our viewer was commenting on, that yeah, you can just play the names of the chords, play that note. But how do you expand on that? How do you make that into a whole song and to make it musical? And that's what I'm going to go over with you. This might happen to you if you're in a cover band. You could be handed a song off the internet like this one. Or if you are in a worship band, hopefully your church is paying for the music. Here is an example of the kind of chord chart that you might play if you are on a worship team and you get your music off of Planning Center. This is what it might look like. I have made a video on how to use Planning Center online, and I will put a link in the description, and I will put one in the eye in the sky so that you can see how to use Planning Center online for your worship team. I, for real, am learning this song for tomorrow. I've played it a lot of times before, to be fair, but I am learning it for tomorrow. I played on Sunday. I took Monday off. Today is Tuesday. I'm rehearsing this set for Wednesday because I'm playing both on Sunday and Wednesday. So it's a quick turnover time. This part of my rehearsal doesn't involve my bass until later. So that's one less thing for me to manage right now while I'm trying to show you how to go through this. So in today's video, we are going to focus on the road map. If you've ever listened to a song and you've been singing along and suddenly they sing a lyric you did not expect. They went to the chorus, they went to the verse, and you weren't expecting it. That's because you didn't know the road map. So today, we're going to talk all about the road map. The first and easiest way to get the road map is to listen to the guide. If your song has a track, you can select the guide. The guide is a helpful reminder of where you're supposed to be with a voice telling you. I'm going to let you hear the guide for a second.
Verse.
What can get confusing with the guide is if she calls something a different name than they call it on your sheet of music. For example, it might say turnaround on the guide, but on your music, it might say instrumental. So you want to make sure when you're marking your music to listen to the directions of the guide, to mark each of them down, and then to add in any extra verbiage. Maybe she calls it chorus 1 and it's called chorus 1, chorus 2. It's something like that. So just make sure that the words on your paper match what the guide is saying. The first thing you need to establish is your road map. Your road map is how many verses, how many choruses, are you going through the bridge, that sort of thing. I like to mark my music with a pen. I am showing you every detail. I do mark my music with a pen. I like to use a pen that is a blue tone. I found that red, orange, yellow pens disappear when the lights come up in the church service. So I don't like to use a black pen because then it just blends in with the music. So I do like to choose a blue pen. Okay, so I even have my details thought out. It's been a while. I think it's been about 8 years on Planning Center. So I've gotten to go through a lot of different songs this way. So that's the first thing I would do, is get myself a good pen. This song has a road map written out at the top of the page. This is the song, Who You Say I Am. The first thing is going to be that road map. We're going to go over the road map. You'll see that it says to play the intro, and then the verse 1, chorus 1, verse 2, chorus 1. So there's an example where you're not going straight down the sheet of music. You're going to play the first part and then you're going to jump back up. So what I like to do is take the pen and make sure I mark those kinds of things, like how many times I'm going through the verse, the chorus, those kind of things in the road map, so that I don't have to look above to the road map and down to the music. Now, if I get the song off of a website, like I got this one off of pnwchords.com, but I know that if you're doing a non-church song, you might be doing might be getting off of Guitar Tabs or any of those websites that have the music on them, where people have transcribed the songs out as they hear them. You're not necessarily going to have a road map. That's where it can be also very helpful to listen to the song and see what the road map is on the recording. There's usually one most popular recording of the song, and that's probably how you're going to be performing it. So I would refer to that. So now I'm going to show you how I would mark the music. So here it is with the road map. I would see that verse 1, chorus 1, verse 2, chorus 1. So at the end of verse 2, oh, wait, it's got chorus 1 down here too, except for chorus 1 has chorus 2 as well. Can you see that? So to remind myself not to hop up to this half chorus, I'm just going to give myself a little arrow. Down, go down, keep going. Okay? Verse 2, then we go to the bridge, and we're going to do the bridge 2 times. So I'll just mark that right here so I can see it. Then we do the tag. Then we go back to chorus 1. So we've gone all the way through the music to nearly the end of the song, and we're back to chorus 1. So I'm going to write that here. Chorus 1. And it's this chorus 1, not the first chorus 1. So I'm also going to give myself a little arrow so I remember. I go down to chorus 1 again, chorus 2, the instrumental. So the second time through chorus 2, I'm going to the instrumental. So I wrote second time instrumental. And then after the instrumental, we go to the bridge 2 times. We do the tag 2 times. Chorus 1 and chorus 2 2 times. So I try to make it really easy on myself, and then we'll do the ending so that I already have it written out. So if you're doing this off of a song that you don't have that kind of music for, remember, you're going to listen to it to see that. So that is the general roadmap of the song. The most important thing to mark down at the very end of the song is the last note. You know, da-da. If you get the whole rest of the song wrong, if you get the last note right, that's what people will remember. So in this song, we're in the key of F, and we'll probably end on the 1 chord. So the last note, we would write end, F. And then I circle it, just to remind myself. This is the 3rd video in our series. The first video was the order of service. The second was how to use Planning Center Online. Today's video is how to use the road map. The next video will be about the rhythm, and the video after that will be about the notes that make up the bass line to the song. So stay tuned for those videos. You won't want to miss them. So here's that video about using Planning Center Online. Oh, and here down here, that's a video that YouTube picked out just for you.